Welcome back to Pastry Maestra. I'm Teresa and today I'm making blackberry and lemon mini tarts. So, the hero of my educational intro for this video is blackberry, and the real hero it is, I can tell you that. This humble fruit is extremely healthy, it tastes great and looks amazing, all black and shiny. Just beautiful. Now hear this, there are only 43 calories in 100 grams, which is 3.5 ounces of blackberries. Only 43 calories, imagine that. But that is not all, not by far. Blackberries are an excellent source of vitamin A, vitamins B1, B2, B3 and B6, vitamin C, vitamin E and vitamin K. The mineral wealth of blackberries includes calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium and zinc. The health benefits of blackberries also include better digestive health, strengthened immune defense, healthy functioning of the heart and prevention of cancer. One of the earliest known instances of blackberry consumption comes from the remains of the Haraldskær woman, the naturally preserved bog body of a Danish woman approximately 2500 years old. How do we know that she ate blackberries? Well, forensic investigation found blackberries in her stomach contents, among other foods. Amazing! The use of blackberry plants for medicinal purposes has a long history all over the world. Ancient Greeks, other European people and Native Americans used the various parts of the plant for different treatments. Chewing the leaves used to treat mouth problems such as bleeding gums and canker sores. Tea brewed from leaves, roots and bark was also used to treat pertussis, a nasty lung disease also known as whooping cough. Did you know that blackberry fruits are red before they are ripe? That led to an old expression that blackberries are red when they're green. Funny, right? But wait, there are also red-colored blackberries, and sometimes they may be difficult to distinguish from raspberries. One sure way to tell them apart is that when the blackberry is picked, it comes away from the plant with its core intact. However, when a raspberry is picked, it leaves the core behind, thus having a hole in the middle. Just in case you were wondering. Okay, now I have an announcement that will make you happy, I promise. It goes like this. I have told you everything I know about blackberries, so this intro is done. Yay! So now no more talk, let's make some delicious blackberry and lemon tarts. As usual, the recipe is on my site and the link is down below. To make short crust pastry, I've placed sifted flour into a large bowl. I'll add sifted almond flour, powdered sugar and vanilla powder and stir with a whisk. Then I'll add cold butter cut in cubes and rub the dry ingredients into the butter with my fingertips until I get crumbly mixture. Now I'll add egg yolks and make the dough. I will wrap it in plastic foil and put it in the fridge for about 1 hour. I've placed one piece of parchment paper onto my counter and now I will put 1/2 of the dough onto it. First I will press it with my fingers to flatten it a bit. Then I'll put another piece of parchment paper onto the dough and press it to stick to it. I will roll out the dough to 3 mm, which is 1/8 of an inch thickness, using my adjustable rolling pin. I'm rolling from the center towards one end, at the same time holding the opposite side of the paper with my hand, so the paper doesn't slide or wrinkle. I will put everything in the freezer for about 20 minutes to chill. I will repeat the procedure with remaining pastry. My pastry is chilled and first I will cut approximately 4 cm, which is about 1.5 inches wide, and approximately 28 cm, which is 11 inches long strips for the sides of my tarts, using my pizza wheel. I will put the pastry in the fridge. I'm using 7 by 7 centimeters, which is about 3 by 3 inches square perforated tart rings. Now I'll cut out squares for the bottom of my tarts. My squares need to be about 6 millimeters, which is 1/4 of an inch smaller than the tart rings, so I will trim them using my 6.4 by 6.4 centimeters, which is 2.5 by 2.5 inches template. First, I will line the sides of my tart with pastry strip. Then I'll insert the pastry square into the mold and smooth the interior with my fingers. I will remove the excess pastry from the sides of the tart using a small knife and then put everything in the fridge for about 20 minutes. Before baking, I will dock the bottom of my tarts with a fork. Then I'll bake them at 170 degrees centigrade, which is 340 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 12 to 15 minutes. My tarts are done, and now I will brush them with egg wash. I'll put them back in the oven for another 2 minutes, and then I will leave them to cool down completely. To make blackberry jelly, I'll soak gelatin in cold water. As soon as my gelatin softens, I'll take it out and squeeze to get rid of the excess water. I've put blackberry puree into a bowl. I'll add sugar and stir with a whisk. I will heat up this mixture in the microwave. My puree is hot. I'll add soaked gelatin and stir until it melts. I will leave this mixture to cool down a bit. I will pour my jelly into the tarts until I cover their bottom and then put them in the freezer until the jelly sets completely. To make white chocolate and lemon ganache, I will put lemon zest into the cream and stir well with a whisk. I will heat up this mixture in the microwave. Then I will cover it with cling film and leave it for about 30 minutes to infuse. I've melted my white chocolate in the microwave on low heat, and now I'll strain the cream into the melted chocolate. I will stir well with the whisk until the ganache becomes uniform. I've put my ganache into a piping bag without tip, and now I will pipe it onto the frozen jelly until I fill the tart all the way to the top. I will shake the tart to distribute the ganache evenly and then put everything in the freezer until it sets. To make blackberry mousse, I'll soak gelatin in cold water. As soon as my gelatin softens, I'll take it out and squeeze to get rid of the excess water. I've put blackberry puree into a bowl. I'll add sugar and stir with a whisk. I will heat up this mixture in the microwave. My puree is hot. I'll add soaked gelatin and stir until it melts. I will leave this mixture to cool down a bit. I will whisk cream in a stand mixer fitted with whisk attachment until soft peaks form. I'll pour lukewarm blackberry mixture into the whipped cream and stir with a whisk until incorporated. I've put my mousse into a piping bag without tip, and now I'll fill my truncated square pyramid silicone molds all the way to the top. I will smooth the mousse using my small spatula and put everything in the freezer until it sets. My mousse is frozen. I will take it out of the silicone mold. Then I will place it onto my tart. I will decorate my tart with fresh blackberries and some flowers. There, my delicious blackberry and lemon tarts are done. Enjoy!
Oh baby, you are so sweet, so delicious and yummy, so good to eat. I wanna lick you, feel your sweetness on my lips. Forever and ever, you'll stay on my hips.
I'm Teresa. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you liked it. If you want to stay in touch, follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and of course, visit my site where you can find elaborate posts with lots of pictures, additional information and recipes that follow my every video. Also, on my site you can download my free 365 pages ebook, The Pastry Chef, and maybe buy me a macaron if you think that I've earned it. Now, before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That really helps a lot. Finally, and this is the most important thing, don't forget to create sweetness every day, because sweetness is happiness. See you in my next video. Bye!